Good morning, good morning. I was laughing when Joanne said that's like the chat, the legends are speaking. Legends are only for older people, just so that you know. That's my understanding. But we're all very young people here, okay? So young legends. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. We'll take the opportunity to wish everyone Selamat Hari Raya. As this country is going through a celebration for 30 days, I wish all of us who are celebrating Hari Raya, we are celebrating with you. So I hope this Raya will be something very different and more meaningful for you, as we have gone through 2 years of very difficult moments when it comes to those celebratory season. But yet this is the time you can go out there and celebrate. At the same time, a happy belated Mother's Day. For all moms out there, you guys are awesome. So happy Mother's Day. Put in the chat box right now, how many of you spend time visiting people during Mother's Day and during Raya? How many of you go out and I saw all the restaurants and cafes were busy, right? How many of you went out there and talked to someone and reached out to people? If you did, just put on the chat box. Yes or no? Did you guys go out there and reach out and talk to people or meet people in a cafe, in a restaurant during Hari Raya and during Mother's Day? How many of you, yes or no? Yes. My daughter took me out for lunch. Wow, nice. Right, I saw a lot of people going out there. And really, it has been a very interesting season where the commerce and the economic activities has been so vibrant. I saw every shopping mall is full, every restaurant is full, everywhere is full. Home gathering and celebration, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, today, this morning, we are entering the last episode of our first season in how do we build a sustainable business? How do we build a business worth owning, right? This is our last episode before we go into season 2. But very interestingly, we are going to close off this season with the idea of branding, right? And one of the key things that I understand about branding is that it is about what people talk about you. That's the idea of branding. So branding is not about what you tell people. Branding is the outcome of branding is what people talk about you, so that at the end of the day, it will lead you all back to profit, right? So the goal of whatever we do today, it's all about bringing back to profit. Remember this, and as we enter this season, the goal of business is about profitability, right? And I want to run a poll right now. I'm going to do a poll right now. I'm going to launch a poll. Okay, here the poll is. Do you spend time actively thinking about and building your personal brand? Right, just answer as you go into this poll, right? Do you spend time actively thinking about and building your personal brand? Right, how many of you do that? Please participate and just answer the poll. There you go. Keep it coming, keep it coming. We got about 69, 70 people in the group today. Keep the poll coming, please. Do participate. I'm going to leave it here for another few seconds. Right, did you spend time actively thinking about and building your personal brand? Right, where are you right now? No being I'm not even considered, or I never ever consider having a brand, or I've thought about it but not taking action, or I think about it only when I make posters or video for marketing. Yes, I think about my brand constantly and feel it's an integral part of my success. So yeah, so just put us so that we know where everyone is, and there's no right or wrong. Personal branding is not something that if you must do, but we want to just talk about it today. Because I think it's important for us to build a business that is branding based. Right, okay, I'm going to close the poll in 10 seconds. Please participate. You've got so many people not participating, guys. Please participate if you can, right? Do you spend time actively thinking about and building your personal brand? Please just click on that particular answer that you think is correct. Right, let's share results here right now. Let's share results. Okay, I'm going to close in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Interesting. The results are showing us that 43% are thinking about it but not taking much action yet. 17% is thinking only when I make posters and videos for marketing. 39% of you are constantly thinking about it as it's an important part of your business. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for participating in this poll. It just brings us a perspective that all of us somehow know branding is somehow important. But sometimes we may not understand how to do it. Somehow we may not understand what works, what doesn't work. So today we have 3 guests here. And it's interesting, we have 3 guests from 3 various backgrounds. that's quite interesting. That's very different from each other, right? And even from an ethnicity standpoint, it's very different. I'm very proud that today we've got 3 guests here. So I'm proud to invite Peng, Naqi, and Murali to participate here, right? So it's interesting. Is Peng, Naqi, and Murali? It's kind of like the Malaysian gang here right now. We've got the people from different ethnicity, and we didn't plan for it this way, but it's just so happened as we are thinking about it with Mariah, who are the ones that we want to talk about branding, and want to bring different perspective of branding, because there is not one size fit all. But let's just start the conversation this morning with 3 of our esteemed guests. I'm going to start, yes, Muhiba, yes, it's a very Muhiba team. I'm going to start with the ladies first. So ladies first. So Peng, maybe you quickly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background in real estate, and how has your business been so far in the year 2021 to 2022? How has it been like so far? So go ahead.
Thanks, John, and Selamat Hari Raya to everyone. Okay, so this is my 8th year, I think, in real estate. Coming this year, September will be my 8th year. Before that, I was in corporate, and I was doing and I was in a small digital agency, and we were doing YouTube before YouTube was the thing. And we were trying to sell like social media services before anyone was doing. So obviously we were a little ahead of the curve at that time. So in the end, we chaplap lah the agency because too ahead. And then after that, I came into real estate.
Right. Yeah, and how has business been for you so far in the past couple of last year and this year? How has it been so far for you in terms of how many transactions have you done, and how does that look like for you in your business?
I think the last year has been really exciting for me. As some of you may or may not know, previously I was running a team and more on management side, and I took the leap to actually come out to own my business. And it's been a really exciting year because I feel that I get to do what I want, I get to do what I believe in, and I get to create a brand that truly embodies, or at least I attempt to create a brand that embodies what I believe what I want real estate to be, and how I want to practice real estate.
Right. Which area you cover, and roughly in this journey, like do you mind sharing how many transactions in general that you have done?
Yeah, so we've done 20 over transactions in sales and rental, but it's over more than a year lah.
Right.
We just hit the 1 year plus mark. But I don't work alone. I work with a few other people. Yeah, so it's been a really interesting journey. A lot of ups and downs, but yeah, I'm really happy now that in terms of owning a business and building a brand, I want to do something that actually gives me my voice.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Peng. I'm going to move to Naqi. Naqi, how about you, Naqi, man? Tell us a bit about yourself, and how's business been for you so far?
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. Selamat Hari Raya. Okay. This year would be my 3rd year in real estate. Not even 3rd, it's 2+ still. I'll be 3rd year in September. Before this, I was in doing something professionally as well. I was an auditor / accountant before for 13 years before I joined real estate. Joining real estate had been a total kind of change in terms of the way I think, the way I live my life, how I want to pursue my life in the future, because it really resonates inside what I really want to do in life, to be honest, because I have passion doing things that I love doing now, as you can see later on all my brandings, things like that. So it's really good in the sense of doing something that you have passion in and in able to pursue it and ultimately getting paid for it. So that's the best thing. Yeah, that's the best thing.
Right. Awesome. And how's business been for you so far?
I think for the last 18 months, let's talk about like starting 2021, it had been quite a surprise in a good way, to be honest. For someone who joined real estate with a lot of competition, within the environment. So to be able to do something different and to be able to achieve result that you already set to achieve. So it feels quite good. In terms of transactions, I think roughly around, I think nearly same like Yimping, sale and rental as well.
Right.
Over the
So
last
it's in the
18
range
months.
of the 20 transaction range per year.
Mhm.
Something
Correct.
like that. Right. Awesome.
Correct.
Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing, Naqi. Thank you so much. I'll come back to you all shortly. Let's go to Murali, all the way from Setiawan, guys. He's in Setiawan, and what I'm amazed about how Murali is doing, he's using some of the models and the technology that we are deploying, and it's working in Seremban plus Setiawan. So I'm going to pass the time, Murali. Can you do a quick introduction about yourself and share with us how's your business been so far? Sorry, you're muted. You're muted, Murali.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, John. And good morning to everyone. And Selamat Hari Raya. All right. So first of all, let me introduce myself. Yeah, I will share my slides. Okay, my name is Murali Gopalen, and I have a 5 years experience in real estate sales and rental. So currently attached as a probationary estate agent to Refill Properties HQ. Right, and I have experience in project sales, sub-sales, rental, and auction property sales. So my journey in real estate starts in 2016 when I come back from Singapore. Before that, I was an engineer before. So I was my passion is always to do a business. I was thinking what business to do, right? So then in 2017, real estate came into my mind, and I joined as a real estate negotiator in 2017 for Sherwood Realtors. I worked for 7 months. I focus on selling projects, Koi Prima, Koi Suites, and Diamond Residence Puchong. Then after that, around November 2017, I resigned from Sherwood Realtors, and I joined as a sales staff for Masteron, and I still sell the same project, Koi Prima, Koi Suites, and Diamond Residence in Puchong. And after that, in February 2018, I left Masteron, and I decided to enroll for a degree program. Real estate degree program at Imperial College. And then after that, in between, I also joined as a real estate negotiator for Metro Homes. And January 2020, I joined CID Realtors. So in CID Realtors, I worked for CID Realtors for 1 year, but I gained a lot of knowledge on how to conclude a deal for commercial, industrial, and land dealings. Right, and from January 2021 until August 2021, I resigned from CID Realtors and I joined Azmi & Co. I have no choice because Azmi & Co. I was doing my internship at Azmi & Co. So they asked me to resign to come over here so that I can do whatever activities in the estate agency and I can write in the logbook. So, and I've already decided after August, I need to find a very good company to join so that I can really improve my performance, right? So that's why when I do a research on September 2021, I joined Refill Properties, and until now I'm with Refill Properties. And in January 22, I have been promoted to become a probationary estate agent, right? And about my transactions, okay, so far. Okay, this is my transaction since 1st September 2021. After I joined Refill Properties, it is about 8 months duration. So I've clocked the confirmed sales, I've clocked around 14 transactions. And my GCI will be around 100,480 ringgit. And there's another 6 more transactions pending loan approval. So it's about 42,000 plus. So total GCI, expected GCI will be around 142,880 ringgit. So that's all.
Thank you for sharing, Murali. Thank you so much. It's so awesome to see different people, and this is the first time I'm doing an event where someone is not from KL talking about real estate business, right? So I think it's so interesting to see that. I want to stick with you, Murali, since you ended that conversation. I want to ask you this question, Murali. Why do you think branding is important, and what are you trying to communicate to the people that you want to reach out to? Why branding is important to you, and what is it that you're trying to communicate to the consumer? about branding?
Okay, branding is very important. Okay. Nowadays, in real estate real estate industry is a very highly competitive. There are a lot of agents outside there. You see, so there are currently, I think, about 50,000 agents in Malaysia right now. So okay, when I move into Setiawan, Setiawan is just about 1 year duration for me. It is a very new place. You see, so I have to really make sure that people knows me. So the visibility must be there. So people must recognize me as a property agent there, and I mean, what I'm really communicating. I mean, branding is about, people want to know about myself. Before they want to do a business with me, they really need to know about myself, whether we can trust this agent or not, and all this. You see, so the things that I really communicate to people is like, I will always portray myself. I have really a very good market knowledge about my area. All right. And then I mean, I also am a very good problem solver. It means when clients comes to me, I'm really dedicated to solve their problem. You see. And then also I'm very dedicated, to my work. You see? So all these kind of things I really post, because I use mostly Facebook as my personal branding. You see, so most of my activities I will share in my Facebook. You see, so yeah.
So the goal is to let people know that you are a real estate agent in this Setiawan, and you just told us that you just came into the market for about one over a year in Setiawan, back from KL to Setiawan, and you're already hitting that kind of numbers in Setiawan, where it's important for us to understand the concept here, because the price per transaction is not as high as those in KL, right?
Yes,
right?
Yes.
The average pricing is about 500,000-600,000, 400,000.
So average pricing, like here, like single story is only about 250,000. Double story 350,000.
Yeah.
70
So
is 500.
Yeah. 200,000-300,000 to 500,000. So basically, average is about 200,000-300,000 onwards, and you need people to know you, because you need more transactions to hit your goal because of the price per unit, right? And your goal is to communicate to people that I'm here to solve your problem. Yes, I'm here to help you solve your problem, and you must, and I want you to trust me. And then you get very personal about that in the communication. Thank you for sharing that, Murali. Naqi, how about you, Naqi? Why do you think branding is important to you, and what is it that you're trying to communicate to the public?
Okay, number one, in general, I think in terms of perception towards branding, everyone has a different perception. I think that's my point of view. So myself, I think in general, branding can create the persona of you or your brand itself. Okay, so it's what you want to do with that brand. So for me, I really want to leave a legacy behind. So I know my family can see what I'm doing when I was in my 30s, my 40s, and now. So basically, you are creating a digital footprint about yourself or your brand. So later down in the future, people will know, oh, okay, Naqi, what was he doing last few years? So it leaves that trail behind, so for people to see. From what a standpoint of communication, what I like people to see is basically to see you as a person, you as a brand, and you as the person to go to, because when you are creating your brand, you're building content as well. So you are, majority of the time, you are building content towards a colder leads who have never met you before. So, by creating videos, by creating content, people will know you and, have that emotion towards you, towards what the values that you are trying to instill, all those kind of things. So creating that cold lead into a warmer lead, so it's easier when they contact you as they know you already. All right, that's the main goal. I think that's the main goal. So you eliminate that coldness towards the warmness straight away. So it's easier to build that rapport and relationship. I think that's the main goal.
Right. So if I hear you correctly, it's about, number one, it's about people associating this brand to an individual, which is you. They know it's you, it's an individual. But also you're trying to build credibility as you go along the way, credibility for people to build that trust, right? What you're saying is basically trust. So how can I go from cold to warm? Is basically I, as a consumer, choose to do that because I choose to trust you based on what I understand, read, know, watch about you. right? So I see that you oftentimes you do very creative stuff, and we'll talk about that later. But the goal is to get to know you as a person, right?
Correct.
From what I understand, does that make sense? And then build that rapport and that online presence, so that when I meet you offline, I kind of, okay, that's the guy. Okay, that's Naqi now, because then you already have that. There's already that relationship online first.
Yeah, true. I think that's the goal now.
Right. So you try to go virtual dating with the clients first. Something like that.
Right. If I can charm my way through, yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. Right, Peng, how about you? Peng, why is branding important to you, and what are you trying to communicate to the consumers out there?
Okay, so for me, I see branding is because we are in the service industry, so really we are the product in essence, right? So what is important for me, why branding is important is because I see it as a vehicle for me to communicate my values, vehicle to communicate the level of service that I provide, not just what services, I think it's quite, but it's what, not just what type of services, but what's the value behind providing these services, and more important is how can I solve your problem?
Right.
And creating that, that trust, create that trust by demonstrating, showing, not telling, right? Branding is showing, it's not just telling, showing people, demonstrating through branding, through all the content that we create, that, I put you first. And what I mean in terms of customer service. So I may not attract everybody, but I think for me, important is that I want to show my values, myself, and attract this pool of customers.
Right. So basically, it's really communicating your value proposition to them.
Yes.
Like communicating your value proposition, communicating how you are going to. You're basically sending them the expectation. You are managing expectation. You are giving expectation, setting expectation to the consumer. This is my standard. This is what I do. This is what I stand for. This is what I can do and what I will do and what I have done. Right? So it's important. Right? So branding is just not about a nice logo and say, hey, we're all nice people, nice picture shots and all that. Those are important, don't get me wrong. But it's about telling the story, right? What I want to do, what I can do, what I have done. Right?
Exactly. Because we are service, right? That's all we have. We value your principles, right? Your integrity. Right, and how do you communicate that? How does your brand embody that? So all the content, everything that I do is with that in mind. I may not be able to cover everybody, and that's okay for me. I just want to attract the clients that are similar to me, and that's how I give my brand direction and strategy. It's just whom do I want to communicate to? I cannot communicate to everyone, but so branding is important so that you can get this pool of clients, to reach out to that pool of clients.
And you say something very interesting. It's who I want to communicate to. So in your business, just give an example right now, and I'm going to go through every one of this. But in your example, in your business, who do you think is your target audience?
I think people who value principles. I think real estate, I've been in it enough to see like there are people who don't. They just want to get a transaction done. Then to be honest, then that's not what I stand for. For me, I want a relationship. It's not just a transaction to me. I want to give service, integrity, principle.
Right.
So I always have that in mind. I try to like, okay, how do I communicate? How do I attract this kind of buyer, this kind of seller?
Right. So that's your audience that you're trying to communicate to. And you're very clear that if you don't get if those people, the other people that are having different values system with you may not appreciate you for the way you are, and you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay. I do meet clients who are like, why you talk so much? No lah. It's okay. It's okay for me. And then I say, it's okay. Then you cannot get everybody. And you have to be very clear, like when you do your brand, you give your service, you got to be very clear what's your philosophy and who is your client. There's a client for every one of us.
And that's important because sometimes we get too generalized about our brand. We just want to be the agent for everyone in the whole wide world and do everything.
It's not like that.
It's not like that, right? It won't work that way, right? Thank you for sharing. Naqi, how about you, Naqi? Who are the target audience that you are trying to communicate to, and how do you, and who are these people in your business? You're muted. I can't hear you. Oops, I lost him. Never mind. Murali, how about you? Who are the target audience? Who are the people that you are trying to communicate to in your market?
Okay, who are the people? Okay, I've done my market research here, you see. So I only focus like which category of property is in demand in Setiawan, you see. So for residential, we have like 500 to 600 transactions every year, you see. And as compared like commercial, it's like below than 50 transactions. Land is about 100 transactions per year. Industrial, very less, maybe 20, 20. So I just focus on mostly on the residential properties in Setiawan, you see. So that's why most of my customers are, those who are coming to buy house, you see. Yeah.
Right. And what kind of people are they? Like, how do you target them? Are they mass market? Are they of certain ethnicity? Are they certain what is the kind of people that you are trying to target in the way you brand yourself? First time homeowners, government servants, who is it that you're targeting?
Okay, my target, I mean, anyone, it can be anyone, as long as they have, they want to do property dealings in Setiawan. So they can, my image, I build my image as a property agent here to help people, in terms of like property transaction. But most of my customers are Indian customers here. Indian people, they really looking for me here because there is no Indian property agent in Setiawan. So, and they feel like when they communicate with Indian people, it's very easy to communicate. So that's why I capture most of my Indian market in Setiawan. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. So it's important, right, that as we build our business, guys, when we brand, right, it's important to know who we are targeting and what are the people that we are targeting for, because that will help us understand and capture the market that we want. So it's important as we are learning this today, this morning, guys. I hope notes are being taken down. And the first note that you must take down is this: be clear who is your target audience. Be very, very clear, because if you are not clear about your target audience, your branding may not have effect to help you build a business. Sorry, Naqi, how about you? What's your target audience? Who are the people that are trying to target? Yeah.
In my context, it's definitely the locality or within the radius of the locality, because as you know itself from the brand itself, it's targeted on a specific area. So it's always targeting that locality, even though they are not buyers, they are not sellers, they are not landlord, it's the locality. Because what I'm promoting here is not only about, buying, selling of properties or the service that you're providing, but like a community kind of service as well. Just to share with them what's going on in the community, what's new, what the nice food to eat in this new places to eat, those kind of things. So in the future, they might be buyers or sellers or tenants. So this is in a long run. However, you need to start creating it from now, because in order for it to expand even further, it needs some time.
Right. So I'm hearing here is it's very communal based for that location. But you are targeting people who wants to come in here and be part of this community.
True.
Yeah. That's very clear. So over here we have three different. You can see, if you all understand, right? It's three different perspectives, but yet all having successful businesses. So meaning there is no one fixed perspective for branding, right? So you have Peng, who is philosophically looking at values, right? Relationship, there's certain values, certain baselines that she takes, and certain approach that she has. I'm looking for that kind of relationship, and I'm here to support, to solve those problems. It's very clear. And for Naqi, it's very communal based. And for Murali, it's very ethnicity based and very location based as well, but focusing on certain majority of certain ethnicity to help them solve problem. I'm assuming a lot of them could be first time homeowners. I'm assuming, I'm not sure, but potentially there are some of them like that, right? So you can see, right, when you do your branding, they are quite clear, their positioning where they are, right? They could be selling similar products or different products, but to me, the product is just the opportunity for them to bring to the clients, but the branding is the one that's attracting the clients to them. So it's important for us to understand that. Okay, I'm going to stay with you, Naqi, and maybe you can share some examples of how you build your brand? Like, what are some of the collaterals and what are some of the things that you do? And maybe you can just walk us through that a little bit for the next 3 to 4 minutes as you share 1 or 2 slides. Just show us how do you walk through that, because your background already is a brand already. So
Okay.
your background right now already. So that's well done. But really, how does that look like?
Okay. So me, let me just share what I have. Okay, so this is basically Naqi on a plate here. All right, if you guys can see.
Right.
All right, so this is how I do my branding. It looks quite formal, but at the end of the day, for me, the presence of you, I think sometimes, number thing, my objective in terms of branding is totally to be the distinctiveness. Okay, I need to be different compared to others. I need to show people who I am as a person. I think sometimes this can be done through a logo, through a color theme, you know, and it's just by being yourself. All right, so I just ensure like all my logos are there. Sometimes you don't need the logo because it's already on your page. So yourself, people need to see who are they dealing with. They don't want to be specifically talking to a particular, in general kind of logo kind of thing. So they don't know who are they communicating with. So the content that I create as well is more not only listings. You got your tips as well. But now I'm doing other things as well. I'm doing short videos, so it's getting a lot of traction. So I'm bringing what I like to do now in terms of what I like, my passion. I like to do editings. I like to do videos. So I really enjoy what I'm kind of doing now. So I think if people see this, they can really resonate. Oh, okay, that's that guy. So in terms of the consistency of content that he's bringing, I think that's the whole point.
Right. So I'm seeing I think there's consistency in the color themes, the logo brandings, the content are similar like this. When you talk about consistency of content, how can you share with us from your business standpoint, what does that mean by being consistent? Is it postings consistently, or is it what does that mean to you?
Okay, consistent. Okay. What I learned, because I like to I like to really know what is the best practice in terms of what we're doing here in the real estate business and in the branding in general altogether. Most of people fail to have that consistency in place. It's basically have that, they have a bunch of content, they all put it at one go, and it's not really consistent in terms of timing, just put, and then you leave it a few months, a gap, things like that. So it's not consistent. I learned that the hard way as well, because from there, I know what are my mistakes. So I'm improving all day long. For me now, I have a content calendar. So I know I need to meet this kind of content calendar. So there is someone else who is managing this for me as well, part-time. So I know, okay, Monday, what type of posting, Tuesday, you have some rest days. So you can be consistent in that, because in order for you to build a branding, especially social media, consistency is very important. I think consistency is very important. So and I do batch content creation as well. That's what I'm doing currently. So like one day, only batch content, that's it. Nothing, no lead gen, no nothing, only batch content. So I have like a content for 1 week, content for 2 weeks. So it's easily distributed out later on.
Right. What's the cadence for you to communicate on social media right now? Is it once a week, once a month, once a day? What's the cadence of this content being posted out?
It really depends on what type of post. Because like social media is providing a lot of avenues now. So I'm not talking a lot of platforms, a lot of avenues. So when you have Instagram, for example, you have posting, you have reels, you have stories. So it's different. If you go into detail about it, I don't want to go into detail about it. It's different. Right. Timing is different. Who are you attracting is different. All those kind of things. In terms of cadence, I'll try to be as consistent as I can. 5 to 6 postings per week.
Right. So it's almost daily. Almost daily, there will be certain content posted out to build that branding to attract people. The way you write, is that the idea is like that? Is that
That's
how
the idea. That's the idea
idea.
based on the that's the idea based on the current trend.
Right. Thank you for sharing that, Naqi. And can I say majority of or all, if not all, your current postings or content is on social media? Do you do offline stuff?
No.
No. So it's 100% online right now.
Yeah. At the moment, that's the strategy.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Naqi. Murali, how about you, Murali? Can you share a little bit about your content, the way you create your branding? What some of the examples that you have?
Okay. Thank you, John. Let me share my screen on my slides.
Right.
Okay, basically, I've created a logo, right? So this is my logo, right? So PHMG, meaning that Pakinting Hartana Murali Gopalen. So, and I come up with a tagline, Ingat Property, Ingat Murali. That means when people think about property dealing, whatever sales, buying, and all this, Murali should come into their mind. Okay? So I'm positioning my name into their mind when it comes to any property dealing. So I break down my strategy of branding into two categories. The first category is offline branding strategy. It means when I enter Setiawan in 1 year time, I must make sure that I penetrate the market there. So that means a lot of people know me there. You see? So when it comes to offline branding strategy, I use name cards. I print out a lot of name cards, and then whoever I see, I go and distribute my name cards. That's the first thing I did. Then flyers distribution, I printed out around 20,000 flyers, to come up with my services, and I do a door-to-door delivery services. And I go to, I mean, we have like road shows in the temple, we distribute our flyers. And then also I go and distribute my flyers at restaurants, barber shops, and all this, so that people knows about the services that I'm offering. Then there is one property agent in Setiawan who can help them in terms of property dealings. And also we in Setiawan, we have a daily pasar malam, pasar pagi, and all this. So we always conducted road shows every now and then, you see. So we set up a booth there, and then we distribute the flyers, and also we promote our projects there. And last thing I do is postcard distribution. So postcard, I've printed about 10,000 postcards, and Pangko Island, Marina Island is one of the hot spots in Setiawan. So there's a lot of tourists there, you see. So I hire my people there to go and distribute my postcards, to brand myself, you see. Okay, so that is my offline branding strategy. And then my online, I rely mostly on Facebook. So I created my own Facebook business page, and also a Facebook individual page. So in individual page, I will try to add most of the people at my local area here, right? So I believe the content is the key to build our personal branding in Facebook. So I will share contents like my daily run activities, like viewing, new listings, banners in my Facebook. And then after that, whatever sales booking made by purchaser, I will share in my Facebook. And then if let's say the client signing any bank letter of offer or sales and purchase agreement, I will share in my Facebook as well. And then after that, what is my achievement in real estate? That means, let's say, in this picture, you can see that I attend my degree in real estate. So I share this kind of achievement in Facebook. And then emotional real stories. Some people, they can't get a loan for 2 years, and then after that, when they come and see me, I managed to get a loan for them. You see, so this kind of emotional things, when people see, they really, have a good impression on me. And also some kind of testimonials, like in this slide, you can see like property developer. He's asking how's the progress. So I say I come up with about 6 to 7 bookings, and then he's compliment me, all this, you see. So it really create a good image, you see, about myself in the social media. So this is one of the strategy I use. Mostly I rely on Facebook. Second thing, now I'm doing some research on TikTok. So TikTok also, I just started about 1 month back. I only have about 50 followers during that time. So now I already increased my followers about 500 plus followers right now. So I like TikTok because, we don't really need to have extra editing tools, video editing tools. All the video editing tools is there. All right. Even we want to promote also, it's very easy to promote. We just spend about 12 ringgit, we can get 2,000 video views. That means minimum we can spend about 6 ringgit a day, and 12 ringgit maybe 2 days, like, just run something in TikTok related to real estate or branding, you see. So we can reach 2,000 views, and at least we can get about 50 followers, you see. So this is one of the strategy. And YouTube, last time I like to do videos in YouTube, but then it's very time consuming, editing all this, so it's kind of a hassle for me. But there are some videos myself in YouTube, and then KW Command FB campaign also really helped me a lot. Okay, because it's quite cheap. Every time I just spend about $30, and I can manage to get about 8 to 15 leads. And the impression will be about 10,000 impressions. So I'll put my image, my name, my picture, So when we start to advertise, so people are looking, people will get to know me, you see, indirectly, you see, when I do a Facebook ads. And lastly will be WhatsApp status as well, you see. When people daily, I will receive about 5 to 10 inquiries a day. So all of them, when I got the call, immediately I will save their number, immediately I will send a WhatsApp message to them. I will distribute my online business card, and immediately I will ask them to save my contact number. This is because whatever updates related to property, when I upload in my WhatsApp status, they are able to see what's going on, right? So I think that's all. That's my branding.
So it's really offline and online for you, because that's how your market is behaving right now, right? Your market is requiring offline and online because of the location and the people that you are serving right now. Thank you for sharing, Murali. Yimping, how about you, Yimping? Maybe Virtual Support can help share Yimping's slides, and you can just help us run through. And there's a few questions here from Joanne. Joanne, hang on, I'm going to ask your questions, but I think those are very good questions. But yeah, guys, Virtual Support, can you please push up Yimping's? Yeah, there you go, Yimping. How do you put collaterals or mark branding on online?
So I do heavily on digital. I think that's something that you can't run away in terms of branding. It's the best platform that you can use to express yourself. And I think, like, just to jump the gun and address like Joanne's question about how it sounds like we like to create content and it's very natural. Actually, it's natural for everyone to create content. So like what I do is, for me, I always ask myself what is it that I want to say? It comes back to yourself. Everybody has this voice inside of them that they want to, it's only human, right? To want to share stories, listen to stories. So what are the stories that you want to hear? What are the stories that you want to tell? Think about it from that angle, and that is your content. So right. So like YouTube, I tell the story about the house, that what I think about the house, why I think that the house, I do this so that I don't sell by price, I sell by value, right? So I think what is my perspective about the house, and I think everybody here should not be intimidated, right? Or you have to write the script, everything. Write it from what you think. Every real estate agent got an opinion about the house, right? For sure. When we go and see the house, right, we definitely have our opinion, what we like, what we don't like, which part of it can sell, to whom it can sell. Then you translate that into your content.
Right.
You don't need to be intimidated about what's right, what's right. So you can see, like, there's 3 of us here, there's 3 different approaches, 3 different ways of doing it. But this is like true to who we are.
Right.
And so when you create the content, so don't be intimidated, like, oh my God, my content need to be this way, that way. Actually, as we move into this very diverse and very transparent way of communicating, right? It's about being true to yourself, and the public can accept this one, whether you make a mistake or you do something that is not perfect. Actually, people appreciate that. So just be yourself, right? Create the content from the stories that you want to hear and that you want to tell. So yeah. I do it with my videos. Next slide.
So basically, they're not looking for Hollywood production here, right? It's okay.
It's like okay. Yeah. I don't think we need to have glamour or what. If let's say for you, your brand is really connecting with, for example, okay, just off the top of my head, like, maybe you're just starting out, you're as new, and you don't feel like you want to invest so much because you are not familiar with the branding game, then start off with just the phone and just take some videos. So I do these FAQs from the phone. The phone like allows like for really good production these days, right? So I just set it up in my house, and I just feel that, oh, okay, I do these FAQs. It's just my voice and what I want to say and about these questions that people have. So just set it up in the house. I don't even have the fancy lighting or anything. It's just that, and then a little bit of editing. If you're not familiar with editing, or you don't want to do the editing, it's also okay.
Yeah. So
that's your brand.
This is a separate YouTube page. Is it called FAQ in Homes? Is it a separate?
No, this is part of my Facebook. So it's like a Facebook playlist. So this is some of the new features that I've introduced this year. As the brand goes into the next year, then I plan, oh, what other fun things, or what other ways can I like communicate my thoughts, and how can I answer the question. I think how you answer is not so much the answer, but it's for people to see like, oh, okay, yeah, I like her train of thought. Okay, maybe I'll give her a call, for example. That's what branding is.
Right.
And the last one is also, so then I have my website as well. But it's a lot of commitment to do it. But I think that it's important. It's very good to different platforms to express like yourself and your personality. And I think that's the essence of branding. Like, don't need to be intimidated by, oh, I need to create everything. Just think about yourself, what you want to say, and be true to that.
Right. And there's a question here, maybe since you're there, because it's directly to you. It's a very good question. I think as a woman, how do you feel about having your face all over the place? Does it feel overly exposed? Right? How do you feel about that? Because not many people are comfortable with that kind of exposure. What do you have to say about that?
I think that's a lot to do with, I think that's a really good question. And but how I see it is it comes down to how I see myself. And I think that I'm focused on the business, and how should I put it now? I think the image that I create, everything, like, of course I go through quite stringent, like, oh, okay, is it like what baju I wear, how's my hair, try to portray a I am like deliberate on that. And I think that's, as a woman, like, you need to lah. You don't want to appear to be, mistaken for other services, right? So so I quite like deliberate on have to. I think that's unfortunately, or like it or not, this is the reality, and I'm deliberate on that. But I think we need to put ourselves out there and create the image of yourself, your brand. Like, I'm quite cautious on and conscious of creating this, like, okay, whether it's a jacket or like a bit more like not so exposed, and the way I talk. And then when it translates into when you see the clients as well, I don't,
the image is, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a professional real estate agent, and this is how I'm going to become. This is what I am. So that's the intention behind it all the time.
Yes.
Nothing more, nothing less. It's just that's the way it is.
And I think your voice, your tone, if you see yourself that way, it will come across. Of course, you will get like people who try to be funny, but then if you draw your boundary and you know where you are standing, people also echo. So I think it comes down to
you are just being you in the most elegant way that you think you can.
Yeah, I'm here to do business. If you want to talk more, then usually you have to draw the boundaries. You have to, unfortunately, for girls, for women, right? This is something that we have to deal with, but it starts with yourself, your tone, how you carry yourself.
Right. And I'm beginning to see that you are introducing your team members in all those collaterals already. I'm beginning to see that you are now talking about my team is also part of me. It's no longer me alone, but it's me and my team. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think that as I think it's important not so much for the client, but I think a lot about how I can add value to my team members. And I know that branding is really a lot of time and effort, and I demand that of everyone to contribute on some level. So that's why I also want to start branding for them, and it's a value add to be, in my team. I will help you and give you a voice as well. And we leverage on each other's values and personalities, right? Not every client will get along with me. but they can get along with the, it's very funny, right? We are in a relationship business. You cannot expect to get along with everyone. That's being unrealistic lah. But you will find that some clients like, oh, I just have no patience. I give it to another team member whose strength is really patience, and they do it. It's fantastic. So I think then I let them leverage on the brand and give them visibility as well.
Right. I'm going to move on to the next question, and I'm going to stay with you for a while with Peng. What is the biggest challenge for you in building and managing your brand right now?
I think two things. One is balancing between my budget and what I want to do. I'm really bad because I'm the type like, I want it means I want it, then I'm just like, smile, it's okay. Then later you scratch your head like, oh, why did I do that? You know, it's like walking into the shopping mall, and then so I have a habit of doing that, whether in my personal life or work. So, but that's I mean, that's where our coaching comes in, and I'm really appreciative because you hold me accountable and pull me, you know, and how you think about business. I can see Joanne judging me. Yeah, I know you did the budgeting stuff.
I think she may be in the same boat lah. So anyway, she understand. Yeah, but so budgeting is one challenge.
Budgeting, yeah. So budgeting, so then comes down to priority. So you always have to like know what's your goal for the year, what's your GPS, what you're trying to achieve, and then align your budget with that. The second thing is implementation. In terms of creating the brand, I have to say it takes really a lot of planning and discipline to churn out content consistently. And you will find that it takes away time from your sales, and the natural disposition of a real estate agent is to think about closing the sale. I think that's only natural and healthy, but then you have to understand that you can close the sale now, but then your branding helps you with your next sale.
Right. So are you 100% doing it on your own, or is leverage on someone else doing it right now?
What is that?
The branding stuff like creating content, putting it on.
I have people to help me, but then I think you have to also understand that as the CEO of your business, as all of us are here, you have to head it, you have to oversee it, you have to give it the voice, the spirit. It's about your stories. They are just implementing and helping you to churn it. But in the end, you have to realize that this is something that you cannot delegate to people. I think that's the mistake of people do.
Yeah, so you're the brains, and you are the brains behind it. Basically, you are the orchestration, the director behind it, but there are people executing for you on the ground. Yeah. How much time do you spend on a monthly, weekly, daily basis on this particular branding perspective? This branding, this whole branding thing, how much time personally do you spend on branding?
I'm not 7-Eleven, Joanne. I also well, I time block. So I spend no more than 2 to 3 hours a week on planning. And then I just whoever that can, I delegate out accordingly. But I limit lah, I time block. So how many hours on sales, how many hours on follow-up, how many hours on lead gen, how many hours on branding.
Yeah, so 2 to 3 hours a week you plan.
A week, max,
which means this includes you talking to the people to give them direction to execute.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Naqi, how about you, Naqi? What's the biggest challenge for you in building and managing your brand right now?
Okay, I think I have two as well. Number one is consistency, and number two is relevancy. Okay, so I think those are the two main things. So is for me, the way my business model is different compared to some other people. My branding is my lead gen, okay, majority of it. All right, so it's really crucial in terms of what content I'm creating, who are my audience, who am I interacting with. So I'm trying to, kill two birds with one stone here. All right, so because the majority of my sales are coming from my branding, my social media. I think that was the strategy all along.
Right.
So sometimes to remain consistent, and the only way I can do it now is basically to have that content calendar in terms of, to ensure that everything is there on that particular time, that particular day, this needs to go out. So that's why I created batch content creation. Yeah,
Right.
all right. So that's the thing. But I think moving forward, because I'm getting someone part-time now who's helping, assisting me as well. So it can really reduce some of the burden. So I can try to prioritize on other things as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said that majority of your lead gen comes from branding. Let's talk a bit about that. What does that look like? Like, if you talk about majority, like how many % of your leads that you're generating now, I'm assuming it's organic leads with unpaid ads.
Majority of it, correct. Majority of it.
Yeah, how, so give us a number to kind of understand.
Okay.
Like, what does that look?
To cut story short, I can assume 80% of my close sales was coming from my social media and branding last year, without not from property portals.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And why do you think that's the way you chose to put that perspective where I want to create leads through my branding and through my social media platform straight away? Why do you take that approach?
That's why I told you earlier, distinctiveness, which is really important, because one of the advantages of me coming late in the industry is I can see what's going on. All right, it's heavily dominated in the property portal kind of world. All right, where people fight, especially in good location, highly competitive location. But no one is doing this. Hey, why is no one is doing that? So you have that general idea how you're going to start your own business, but definitely you're afraid because hey, no one is doing that. Why is no one doing this? So is it something not? Can it be done? Cannot be done? So the only thing you can do is only try and put all your efforts towards it and see whether you are reaping the results or no, right? Because the thing is, this is the Malaysian market. In order for you to compare yourself, you need to look at other markets worldwide as well. Why are other people in the States or in Europe can do it? They don't rely 100% on their property portals, Zillow, things like that. They are operating on a self-brand kind of thing in their own platform, leaving their own legacy behind, leaving their digital footprint behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Can you share with us what's the number one source of platform that you generate the most? Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook? Is it TikTok? Is it what is getting you the best leads?
A majority now is coming from Instagram and Facebook.
And what is the consumer responding to? Is it your listing postings or your video postings or your community postings? Well, what are they responding to you right now?
It depends, to be honest. I've sold a corner lot house from a nasi lemak posting. Okay. I've sold a listing from a single story house in IG. That particular client became a friend and he purchased a double story house. So everything is coming from my content in social media. So when the results are there, so you know what you need to prioritize. I think that's me. So everyone is different. Okay, everyone has their own business model, things like that. So I'm just talking about my contacts here.
Right. And help us understand, it's all organics. It's not where you are boosting it with you don't pay money to boost those stuff and all that. It's really organic leads that you are generating.
No, I'll be honest, I'm boosting also. I'm doing campaigns as well. But that is all on the ultimate timeline in terms of creating that branding pipeline towards the future, because you need to get more audience coming in. Yeah.
Right. So you need to buy the audience to come in as well, but you're working on the organic first.
Yeah, definitely organic, because the thing is, a lot of people don't know in terms of what social media can really benefit you. All right. So it's good if you research and do the insights, so you know where is the audience coming in from. They are providing you with a lot of things, not platform, a lot of tools. You have your posting, you have your stories, you have your reels, those kind of things. Same like TikTok as well. Yeah. So it's just not people not leveraging it to the max optimally. Yeah.
How much time do you spend on this, man, on a weekly basis? Like, how much time do you spend on focusing on this part of the business, like the branding part on all the platforms?
A lot of hours, because the thing is now I do have like a small cookie jar where sometimes I think about any new content I want to create. I just write it down and put it inside the cookie jar. So I have a lot of content ideas already. So when I'm free, because everything can be executed in the phone now. So you have the phone, you have a cool gadget. I enjoy doing editing. And my kids are enjoying it now. And my daughter have a bigger audience in TikTok compared to me. You know, I'm only starting and experimenting. So I'm learning from her as well. So I keep my day busy on my phone. Yeah, because sometimes the content you can just create within seconds if you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I like the idea that someone's commenting the cookie jar idea, meaning when I have an idea, aha moment, I write it down and I put it there. When I have an idea of a content, I write it down, I put it. Where do you get the inspiration for all this content?
Just walking down the street. No, not only that. In my shower, probably. No lah. Majority of the time, I like to see what other people are doing. Yeah, I like to see what other people are doing. I think this is a people's business. So in terms of, you can definitely, you know, copy and paste what others are doing in a different area, different time zone, things like that, and you know, do it, customize it to your own. Okay, you don't need to rebuild the wheel because you are, the attention is towards your audience, not their audience, you know. So it's just changing it a bit. So those are the ideas. So you know, this kind of agents are doing very good. So you can, hey, I can take this, I can take that, I can put some humor into it, those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the latest video you did with your daughter.
No, my head of marketing, sorry.
Your head of marketing is your daughter, okay? I'm not sure if legally we can tell the people that she's that, but I will take it from that. Yeah, but who is this? Which agents or which kind of which individual do you follow over from the? I'm assuming it's from the US, the States. Right? Who are these people that you're following that you're copying these ideas from?
Oh man, there's a lot. And different agent resonates differently to all of us. So you guys need to explore. I think you guys need to, if you Google them, you can just see them. So they're quite famous, and most of them are heavily dependent on their brand and social media without the using of you know, Zillow, you know, things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
They're trying to go straight to the consumer and trying to build that relationship with the consumer without a filter.
Correct.
Go straight, and that's a smart way because consumer likes that. They don't like so much filtration. You're actually helping the consumer to know that you are the agent of choice in that community for this kind of services, right? There's a question for you, Naqi. Do you struggle with budget like you Peng? Or only
No, I do have my red light and green light, but I do enjoy what I'm doing in terms of editing and capturing content. I think I do enjoy it before in this previously as well. So I'm now you know, executing.
Now you're already in Mount Kara, is it?
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So now I'm just executing it. So in terms of budget, there are a lot of free areas that you can, you know, leverage on, Joanne.
Right.
Yeah.
Really, last question as we are running out of time. What are some of the challenges that you have in building and managing your brand right now?
Okay, the challenges part will be, I need to be visible to people out there, you see. So the visibility is very important. So I need to reach, my branding must reach a lot of people, you see, in a very short period of time. So I need to think about strategy, what kind of strategy I can really use, you know, to reach more people outside there. But I have to really do some research, you know, what strategy need to use. So for the most efficient, effective one that I used was video marketing. Okay? So when I do video marketing, when I do my Facebook ads, with a very small range of budget, see, I can reach more people out there. See, so like say, I spend 20 to 30 but then I can get about 10,000 views. You see, so from there, people are contacting me. You see, so and another thing is the creativity as well. You know, because we can do a video, but then the video must be very catchy. You see, there must be some creativity behind that. So we have to think about that creativity part. You see, I don't want people see my video, then after that, you know, they don't really like it. You see, so that part is quite challenging as well. And maybe the second part will be consistency lah. Consistency, you know, we have to do a posting in Facebook, social media. So if let's say we don't do posting for quite some time, people tend to forget us. You see, so our presence must be always there lah in social media.
Right. So I'm hearing very similar stuff. Is consistency, is creativity as well, because sometimes we get right off, we are dry of contents, right? So what happens, right? So that's important for us to be creative as well. Right. How many of you are learning something from our panelists today? Someone says the legends, right? You're all known as the legends right now. Three of you are the legends of marketing or branding. I don't know how you call that. You do a poster and a t-shirt like for you guys. All right. But how many of you are learning something? Can steal from Naqi's cookie jar. There you go. So Naqi won't tell you because he got a head of marketing. He also got a head of security. So yeah. But what are some of the things that you are learning from all our? There's a difference between branding and lead generation. Absolutely right, Roland. Very clear. There is a difference between branding and lead generation. What else? What are you learning from today's conversation? How many of you feeling that you are learning something and you think that this is very, very powerful? That you are taking home some key pointers in your business, for your business, right? Very powerful, right? Uniquely yourself in your market. That's right. Be yourself, because the market want to see the real you. They don't need to see the Hollywood of you anymore. That's not how the market is right now. They want someone that's real, realistic, right? What's the story that you want to tell? For someone who wants to start new, what should we do? Right, we will probably end that conversation with that questions later with everyone. Spend regular content creation, absolutely right. Right, very good stuff being shared here. Right, I want to go to some announcement because we have got a long list of announcements. But I want to come and end the conversation with this question just now. How do we start? As the panelists is going to prepare to answer this question, how do we start our journey if we don't know how to start, right? Before we go to that question, the last question, can I have the announcements? Right, so we have completed our first season. Season 2 is coming soon. Season 2 is exciting. So if you've not watched the first season, please go to the YouTube link and watch first season so that you can read through the first and second, third, fourth, and the fifth episode right now, right? And stay tuned for the second season. We'll be announcing our second season very soon, right? Next slide, please. Right, we're going to have a competition right now, right? We are launching a competition for someone to actually unleash your creativity and help us design a logo. So it's what we call a KW Malaysia cast. Now, some of you are following us. We actually announced in January that we are in the process of going to launch KW Malaysia cast. The committee is meeting and they are now finalizing certain things. But one of the things that we want, and KW Malaysia cast is a non-profit where we are going to build funds and help agents in our company during tough and difficult times. And we have helped a lot of agents. Last year, 300 agents were helped with the funding that we raised. So we thought of formalizing this in effect, and KW Malaysia Cares will be the vehicle and the registered entity on ROS to help with that management of the funding that we raised to help agents in our company, so that whenever anyone goes through a very challenging time, they will get support from the company, right? So we want to get all our agents to design a logo for us. So if you are interested, create a logo. Next slide, please. Right? Stand a chance to get your design featured and win token prizes. Right? You will get 150 ringgit and a KW Malaysia tag t-shirt. Second prize is 100 ringgit with KW Malaysia t-shirt, and third prize is a 50 ringgit with KW Malaysia t-shirt. Right? Submit all this logo. Email it to yunqing.wong@kwmalaysia.com by 11:59. Very specific. By 11:59 p.m. 15th of May 2022. Francis say he will send in the next 1 hour. Okay, Francis, you can send multiple. Okay, don't send just one. Okay. So I'm going to leave this screen for a while. You can snapshot it. Yunqing, you can put your email on the chat box so that people can send you the design. And you don't have to what do you call that? Make a fantastic logo. Any logo, we want to take the best and select the best so that it represents us. Represent all of you all in the area of helping each other through KW Malaysia Cares. So I'm extremely excited about KW Malaysia Cares because it's going to be a platform for us to actually showcase our culture. Next slide, please. Right, we're going to have something called Red Day coming up. Red Day is a day on the 12th of May. Every KW region in the entire world would pause for a moment and serve the community in some ways. I think last year we partnered with a group called MACO to collect laptops and computers for the underprivileged children so that they can have their online studies. We did that. We actually collected, I think, 26 over laptops or computers, and I think 1,000 ringgit or something like that we have collected to serve that particular initiative. So we're going to have Red Day coming up very, very soon. Stay tuned. We will make some announcements very, very soon on this. Next slide, please. Right, please share your success stories with us. If you have any success stories, please share to that Bitly link so that we can feature you. It's also an opportunity to brand you right now. Any success story that you have through using our business models and technology, please share it so that we can then share it to the public about what you have achieved, right? Next slide. Do share our value stories. We're going to have a lot of value stories for you to use. So for example, sharing this particular posting to your clients, hey, look, our company have this amount of listings right now, work with us and you'll be open to that opportunities as well. Next slide, please. Right, I also want you all to share this particular 3 key videos that we did, the Future Now event. It's on our Facebook, KW Malaysia, link on the chat box. If you could just like it and share it, it will really help us to build our branding. Part of building branding is engaging people like you all to click and like and share so that we all can leverage on each other to build our brand together, right? Okay, I think I went through a long list of announcements. I'm going to go around the room before we close today. Is the question to ask now is, hey, I'm new to this about branding. How do I start? Where do I start, right? Maybe I will start with Murali. I'm new to branding. I don't know what to do. I have no idea. How do I start? What's your advice?
My advice maybe branding. Maybe they can read more materials, books on branding. So maybe I can suggest Ryan Serhan website. They can go there. There is one free video on how to start the personal branding. All those strategies he advised in that video. And then second thing, maybe if you can go to Kindle, you can check on the branded agent ebook. So even you can read that book, to get more understanding about how to build personal branding. So yeah.
Right. Thank you, Murali, for sharing. Naqi, how about you? What's your advice? I'm new to branding. I've been always traditional real estate agent. I'm learning about branding today for the first time, and I'm inspired to be like you guys. How do I start?
Okay, number one is just to know first what's the purpose of you doing branding. All right. Okay, you need to know first what's the main reason you are doing branding, and when you're trying to do something, creating a brand, things like that, do not procrastinate too much. To be honest, because I learned this the hard way. You are always in motion, but you're no action. Because like we looked at the survey earlier, right? People think about doing a branding, but probably some of them procrastinate quite a lot. Oh man, I'm too big. I have, jerawat here, I'm wearing specs, I'm not that slim. Just, hey man, you are you as a person, because you want people to know you, because people are dealing with you. Okay, be authentic. I think that's number one. Be true to yourself. Just create something first, try, and you see what's going on. Don't procrastinate too much. I think the key thing is don't be in motion too much. Be more actionable. Yeah, more action, less motion.
Yeah, more action, less motion. I like that. Take action. Go along the way and do it and try and see what happens and fail forward. Try and see what happens and copy everyone here right now. I mean, the smartest thing we all can do today is just to go and copy every good option that resonates with us, right? And just follow them and do something similar. Right. Thank you for sharing, Naqi. Peng, how about you? I'm new right now, and I'm not new. I'm not new in the industry, but I'm new to branding. And I don't know where to start. What's your advice?
Yeah, I agree. You just copy. When in doubt, don't reinvent the wheel. It's not that complicated. So just do copy, take a few examples, and just start. And then you will find that, as what Naqi said, just if you keep going, you will find your voice, and your voice will get stronger and stronger. But you need to start first.
Right.
Yeah. Can I just include one more?
Can.
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, which requires endurance. So build up the reps. Keep on doing, even though it sucks. One day it's good, another day. But if you keep on doing the reps, it will definitely in the future will grow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Wow, I'm hearing a lot of good things.
Maybe I also want to add more.
Can.
We can copy with what other agents are doing. Those successful agents are very good in branding us. Maybe they can have a look on their Facebook profile or TikTok ID or YouTube, so how they do a branding. So maybe from there they can get the ideas.
Right. Thank you so much. I hope this has been very helpful for everyone, because this is how we are actually closing the season We talk about running your business from a mindset, talk about lead generation, database, we talk about budgeting, we talk about having a strategic plan, and now we're talking about branding and communicating what you are to the public and what you want to become to the public, so that the public is clear about who you are and what's the value you can offer to the consumer. Thank you, Peng, Murali, Naqi. I'm so excited to do this diverse conversation we have never done before. And it's interesting, right? Because we can see the principles are very similar, yet the outcome is different, but that success still follow through the outcome, right? It's very simple principles. It's about being yourself. I'm hearing all three of them are being themselves. And if you check out Peng's on Facebook and check out Naqi and check out Murali on Facebook, you can see they're themselves. But most importantly, whatever they're doing is bringing them profit. Whatever they're doing is bringing them the results. So I hope that this will give you some sort of inspiration and some sort of guidance to start that branding opportunity in your business. So thank you, Peng, Murali, and Naqi for taking the time off and being open to us. Thank you, guys. Have a good one and take care. See you guys in the next episode, next season. See you all. Thank you.
Selamat Aidilfitri kepada saudara serta saudari. Setahun hanya sekali merayakan hari yang mulia ini. Di masa bulan Ramadan kita berpuasa hingga